And this means that when it's actually switching between the values of this name string variable, and in case the value of this name string variable is animal1, okay, so in this case the value of this name string variable is animal space name, animal name. But here I am specifying that in case the value of this name string variable is animal1, here I am just typing txt switch dot set text or animal name is animal1 and break. So let's actually run our project and see what happens. So as you can see here, our application is running on this emulator here. So if I actually click on this start the switch button here, let's see what happens. As you can see, nothing is happening here. So why? Because here I actually specified that the value of this name string variable is animal1. And in this switch statement, I am actually switching between the values of this name string variable, okay? And here I am telling the computer that in case the value of this name string variable is animal1, please execute this line of code here, okay? And then break out of this switch statement. So now let's actually change the value of this name string variable to animal1. And let's actually run our project again and see what happens. Okay, now our application is running on this emulator. So let's actually click on this start the switch button here. As you can see, it says our animal name is animal1. So it is now executing this line of code here. Why? Because this value is the same as the value of this name string variable. Okay, so let me actually explain to you once again that in line 63, I created a variable of type string called name string, and I assigned a value to my variable. And in line 65, I actually created a switch statement, and inside the parentheses of this switch statement, I am actually specifying that we are going to switch between the values of this name string variable. Okay, switch name string. So now we are actually inside of this switch statement. And here I am actually saying that in case the value of this name string variable is animal1, please execute this line of code here, txt switch.setText or animal name is animal1. So let's actually create another case. So case, and then I can just put in a value of type string. So for example, the name of our animal is lion. Okay, and then I need to put in a colon here, and now I can just type in txt switch dot set text, and then inside the parentheses I can just put in 2 double quotes, and now I can just type in the name of our animal is lion. Okay, and now then I need to actually put in the break statement here in order to break out of this switch statement. So let's actually run our project and see what happens. Okay, now our application is actually running on this emulator here. So let's actually click on this start the switch button here and see what happens. Our animal name is animal1. Okay, so because the value of this name string variable is animal1, it is going to actually go inside of this switch statement, because inside of this parenthesis I specified that I want to switch between the values of this name string variable. So it is now going to actually go inside of this switch statement, and then it's going to actually execute these lines of code here. So here I am actually saying the computer that in case the value of this name string variable is animal1, execute this line of code here. And in case the value of this name string variable is lion, execute this line of code. So because the value of this name string variable is animal1, it is now executing this line of code. Okay, our animal name is animal1. Okay, so let's actually change the value of this name string variable to lion, and let's see what happens. Okay, our application is ready. So let's actually click on this start the switch button here, as you can see, it says the name of our animal is lion. Okay, so now it is actually executing this line of code. The name of our animal is lion. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And now I want to actually specify that if you don't put this break statement here, it is going to actually execute the other lines of code after this case here. Okay, so if I actually delete this break statement here, it is now going to actually consider that in case the value of our name string is animal1, execute this line of code. Okay, and then it is not going to actually break out of this switch statement, and then again it's going to actually execute this case statement here. It's going to actually execute these lines of code here too. So now, and then it's going to actually look inside the value of this name string variable, and if the value of that name string variable is lion, it is actually going to execute this line of code here, and then it is going to actually break out of this switch statement. Okay, we have another case default, and here we are actually, it is the same as the else part of our if else statements, and this does mean that if the value of this name string variable is not animal1 and it is also not lion, and then here I can just put in another value, txt switch.setText, and inside the parentheses I can just put in 2 double quotes, and I can just type in the name of our animal is something else. Okay, so now let's actually run our project and see what happens. Okay, now as you can see here, our application is running on this emulator. So if I actually click on this start the switch button here, as you can see, it says the name of our animal is lion. Why? Because as you can see, the value of this name string variable is lion. And let's actually change this value to something else, for example al, and let's actually run our project and see what happens. Okay, so now let's actually click on this start the switch button here, and it says the name of our animal is something else. Okay, so it is gonna actually execute this switch statement here, and then it's gonna actually see that whether the value of this name string variable is animal1, it is gonna actually execute this line of code, and if the value of our name string variable is lion, it is gonna execute this line of code and then break out of this switch statement, and then it is gonna execute the other lines of code below this switch statement. Okay, and this default means that if the value of this name string variable is not animal1 or it is not a lion, it is gonna actually execute this line of code. Okay, this is like the else part of the if statements that we saw in previous tutorials. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Okay everyone, now I want to talk about the break statement and the continue statement. So first of all, let me actually comment out these lines of code here, because I don't want to actually execute these lines of code here. Okay, and let's actually go inside this btn loop.setOnClickListener method, and now let's actually create another for loop here. Okay, so I just need to type in here for, and then inside the parentheses, first I need to actually specify the initial value, so int, for example x, assignment operator 0, okay, until x is less than, for example, number 30, semicolon, and here I can just type in x plus plus. Okay, and then I need to actually open and close my for loop by using these curly braces. Okay, so now I want to actually talk about the log class. Okay, so now I just need to refer to the name of the log class, log dot I. Okay, so first of all, I just need to put in 2 double quotes here, and inside the double quotes just type in log, okay, comma. So remember that the characters of this log word here is uppercase. Okay, and then I can just type in x. Okay, and then I can just refer to the name of this x variable here, because I want to actually output the value of this x variable to the log. Okay, so I just need to put in a semicolon here, and as you can see here, it's now showing us an error.